Hey everyone, welcome to our webinar today. We're so excited to get started. So for those who don't know, this is our Right Side Up Deep Dive webinar. It's a 30-minute webinar where we're going to kind of run through all of Right Side Up's offerings, from our solutions to ways that you can engage with us to use cases. So talking through, how clients specifically leverage Right Side Up to really help them grow their marketing. So with that, just wanted to run through some quick housekeeping items. So please note all participants are muted. However, if you have any questions for the speakers, you can throw them up in the Q&A box. And lastly, an email with the link for the recording will be shared tomorrow. So if you want to rewatch it or share with any colleagues, you'll have the ability to do so. All right, so excited to introduce today's speakers. We have Lauren Steiner, our head of client growth here at Right Side Up, as well as Matt Brannigan, our director of business development. They both really serve as our strategic partners for our clients across our B2B and B2C organizations. We also like to say we're kind of industry agnostic, so we support all facets of industries from retail to finance and more. So I'll let them kind of briefly introduce themselves later on, but excited to kind of hand it off to them. So with that, I am going to pass the baton off to Lauren, who's going to kind of kickstart today's webinar. Enjoy, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you, Amanda, for the intro. Thanks, everyone, for joining. One of the best and most rewarding parts about our roles is that we get to talk to marketers and talent every day. And we do hear a lot of common challenges that marketers are facing when it comes to resourcing as they're building and scaling teams. So our goal really today is to share how Right Side Up fits into that equation and all the different solutions that we're providing to some of those common marketing challenges.
Thanks, Lauren. Hello, everyone. Really just to start this off, I wanted to just give a quick little background on Right Side Up. Right Side Up was founded in 2017 by our CEO, Tyler Elliston, really as a result of his experience working with traditional agencies in a leadership role on the growth side. So some things that he was really seeing during that time, and I'm sure a lot of other people have experienced this as well. It's really, getting pushed down to junior talent to manage your account, bloated teams that were focused on, kind of like a broad scoping across various different growth challenges that might not be the perfect fit. Not necessarily like a tight fit of experience matched to specific scope or specific growth goals that you were looking to achieve. And also just some challenges in terms of long-term contracts, and sort of contracting and sort of setups that benefited the agency more than it benefited the talent slash clients. And really coming out of this, Tyler started Right Side Up under the belief that by focusing on A-plus talent, having deep domain expertise, and matching talent in teams to specific needs and challenges of clients, that it would lead to better outcomes and performance for those clients over time. So really, we'll talk about this a little bit later, but Right Side Up is really focused around having top talent, very experienced people, from a seniority perspective, folks who have seen a lot in their respective domains, and really having tight matching with talent and our other services to your specific needs as scoped out together.
Yeah, so as Matt alluded to, A-plus talent is what we believe is the key ingredient to any best-in-class marketing organization. And also, importantly, that type of talent and how it's deployed should naturally evolve alongside the business and the needs of the marketing organization as it grows and scales. So with that in mind, Right Side Up provides any configuration of talent from individuals who can be part-time or full-time, to senior strategy advisors, to teams who are specialized around a particular channel or marketing discipline. And that really key aspect of our model is the flexibility, our ability to function as a true extension of your marketing team and meet marketers where they are with various needs as they require different kinds of support along their journey.
And as Lauren mentioned, around the marketing expertise, that's something that's really critical in the way that we structure our teams, in the way that we vet talent, in the way that we hire internally. Right Side Up is staffed by folks who have had marketing roles in the past, who had been really senior growth leaders in businesses prior to working at Right Side Up. Um, and also our GMs of our agency service teams are leaders within their respective domains. So really this fits into this overall ethos where um we're bringing a lot of expertise from various different areas, but also we're in a position to have thoughtful discussions with clients, to be strategic with the folks that we talk to around what their marketing challenges are, what they're looking to achieve, and really be consultative from that perspective, because we've seen it before in one shape or way or another. And with that, just a high level overview on the sort of three pillars that we operate within. So our original core business is our consultant network. So basically our consultant network is comprised of 10,000 plus marketers across every domain of both growth and marketing expertise that you can think of. And we put them into engagements with clients anywhere between 5 to 40 hours a week, very flexible contracting terms. And really, the way that we kind of scope out these engagements is really our bread and butter in terms of matching talent, whether it's someone who's on the manager side, a super executional resource, all the way up to VP, CMO level, more strategic practitioners that can partner with clients to say, help them figure out how to get to their next stage of growth because they've been there before. But really on that side of things, it's really focused on expertise, tight matching to scopes, and then also flexibility in terms of switching consultants in and out or adding or reducing resources depending on what your growth needs are over time. The second pillar that we have here is FTE recruiting. So our GM of FTE recruiting practice comes from some top tier firms that have focused on this for growth and scaled companies across all types of verticals. And really, we're drawing off of our expertise in vetting talent, technical assessment, scoping, sourcing folks that might be a great fit for roles in both sort of full service and hourly configurations, which we'll talk about a little later. And then another thing that sort of was a realization as we sort of developed these other business units and grew as a company is really the need for some agency style services in the case of channels that really rely on a playbook or really deep expertise to be effective in those areas. And some of the areas that we have agency teams are in offline podcast audio, TV agency management, affiliate, creative services. We have a dedicated B2B performance marketing agency that focuses on things like Meta, LinkedIn, programmatic, and SEM. And then we also have a dedicated Amazon e-commerce marketplaces business as well that focuses on everything Amazon, from ops to ads, and then external marketplaces such as Target.com, Walmart.com, Chewy, so on and so forth.
And if you think about these three pillars and how those apply to different clients that we serve, we are truly agnostic in terms of industry and vertical that we can support, business model. So across our client base, you'll see a lot of B2C and B2B, and also the size of organizations that we work with. We work with anyone from a venture-backed startup all the way up to a very large scaled enterprise organization where they all have this common need for finding the right talent at the right time at their stage of growth. And within our collective that Matt talked about, we have a really diverse group of A-plus marketers who can support any scope. And that enables us to grow alongside of our clients as an extension of their team and provide this one-to-one talent match that works for the unique context of that client versus a one-size-fits-all or more general solution.
To dive in on the consultant marketplace, which was the first pillar that I referred to a couple slides back, This is really our core business where we got started, 10,000 plus marketers across all different seniority levels and experience in different areas. So on here, you can see kind of a scattering of different types of roles or different types of expertise that we provide, but it really is hyper focused on growth and marketing roles, anything from a super executional copywriter that you need for 10 hours a week to help to rewrite website copy, or someone to come in and do an SEO audit to determine, what content should be being produced, and also like the technical SEO implementation on the website to ensure that you show up in the correct way on web and through LLMs, for example. Or it could be something that's really, really senior and specific to like more of a strategic level where it's a client coming to us and saying, hey, I really would like to partner with someone who has scaled from 10 million to 25 or 50 million in revenue. They've operated within this specific industry or type of company or specific sort of customer base. And I'd love to engage with them for 10 hours a week to really like help me supercharge my strategy going forward and access channel expansion, other opportunities, and sort of any learnings that have come with that scaling journey. So really anything that you can think of, we have talent for it, and we place these roles all the time across a broad set of skill sets. In terms of the flexibility, we really have the ability to wind to scale hours up, scale hours down, flip resources in and out as needs change over time. And really, as referenced before, we're really focused on taking a scope, really dialing in talent that fits well with that specific need, and then working with you to ensure the right talent is being placed on that role and that they're performing well over time.
And then just distilling that into a couple use cases that we see very commonly for this fractional talent marketplace. So parental leave is a big one, or any time that there's a marketer who knows that a key member of their team is going to be on leave and they need temporary coverage for that team member. We're able to quickly find and recommend an expert who can plug in for several months at a time and provide a stopgap solution, so that you can keep running toward your goals and the machine is running optimally while that person is out. And again, as Matt mentioned, the flexibility is key here, being able to utilize that resource for the amount of hours that you need on a weekly basis, and then keep on keeping on once that team member is back in seat. Another really common use case is when marketers come to us and they are testing a new channel or a new strategy. So we have ABM as an example here, but we easily could have put in partner marketing, influencer marketing, anything that may not be fully proven yet as a core channel. So it might be challenging to get full-time headcount for that. But you want to bring in an expert who's stood up similar programs in similar organizations in the past, and somebody who can really prove out the value and the viability of that channel, and should it be a part of your long-term marketing mix.
In terms of our agency teams, these at Right Side Up are teams that are full service teams that are focused on very core channels that folks may want to expand into or test into. Ones that typically clients don't have in-house resources that are very experienced in, and really benefit from working with a partner who has playbook, frameworks, relationships, and that overall strategy to effectively test the channel and then scale it from the perspective of driving more performance there over time. The agency teams that we have internally at Right Side Up, first and foremost, offline marketing. They focused on podcast, audio, also TV agency management. They're really, really top tier in terms of where they sit in the market. We're a top 3 spender of podcast offline advertising dollars in the United States. And really this goes across all of our different agency teams. The practitioners who lead, the GMs who lead those teams are top tier in their various respective areas. And that really kind of focuses and doubles down on our whole concept of A+ talent. Not only the folks who are leading those teams, but the folks who are actually executing in partnership with clients as well. Another one of our agency teams is our e-commerce team, which focuses on Amazon and those broader e-commerce marketplaces, affiliate and partner marketing. Really, this is focused on, affiliates, influencers, publications, really any partner marketing activities that really focus on all of those different areas and driving your overall CAC down. And then finally on this slide, we also have our dedicated B2B advertising performance marketing agency. And really, this is focused on core performance marketing channels such as Meta, SEM, LinkedIn, programmatic, ABM, focused really on high growth, rapid growth focus for any of our B2B specific clients.
Awesome. So just a couple use cases to kind of bring this to life a bit. So we will often have clients engage us through our offline practice who come to us and they're looking to diversify their performance channel mix. They want to show up in new places where they know that their audience is already highly engaged. Often they're in a very competitive market and they're looking to gain an edge and really win over loyal audiences on the channels that are native to them. So our offline team is able to find a really strong mix of shows, podcasts that brand should be appearing in, with audiences that of course match their ICP. And we use pixel-based attribution so that they can track and measure that as a true performance channel and really tie that to business impact. And then on the B2B performance advertising side, so Matt mentioned we have Right%, which is one of our practices that focuses solely on B2B ads. And often we have clients coming to us who may not be happy with the results that they're getting from their current agency. They really need experts who can speak the language of their niche B2B market, whether that be fintech or some other form of SaaS. And they want to translate their story into compelling creative that is built to drive conversions on LinkedIn or Meta or both. So we deploy experienced account teams that have sat in-house in that seat before and can partner very closely with that client, iterate quickly on creative based on the results. And often that results in drastically improving down funnel conversions and marketing influence revenue.
Awesome. And on the overall kind of agency teams side of things, another configuration that we frequently do with clients who have either a need for a rapidly expanding team, or perhaps, they're really strapped from a management perspective and they need someone to come in to manage a team or to manage a group of different consultants. We also put together custom agency teams for different capabilities. And sometimes this is really focused heavily on agency replacement, putting together a performance marketing team that meets the needs that a previous agency may have been covering. Or let's say you want to spin up an overall lifecycle team and have one person managing a couple consultants who are focused on marketing automation, SMS and email, and potentially someone working on creative, for example. So these configurations are very flexible and are created based on the specific needs of each client, but that's something that we also have the ability to do just based on our A+ consultant network and overall specialization for through different areas.
Yeah, and I would say another common use case for that is if you're launching a new line of business or a new product and you want a team, somebody who can come in as a principal and really set the go-to-market strategy for that new line of business and also manage those executional resources. So as Matt mentioned, I think this is just a testament to our flexibility and being able to build teams, not only individuals, to kind of meet whatever need is at hand.
Great call. In terms of our third pillar of services, full-time recruiting is another area that, you know, we're really well suited to support clients with as well. Drawing off of our experience with A+ talent, our ability to vet and vet technical skills, interview, fill pipeline with really quality candidates versus you know, a large degree of unqualified folks. This is really something that meets our sort of it's our bread and butter to really pull in different folks who can meet the needs of clients from a full-time recruiting perspective. Our team comes from that area, very deep experience. And again, I think another area that really sets us apart is that, you know, from a full-time recruiting perspective, we're marketers vetting marketers. We have people who know the marketing roles, they know the marketing skills, versus in a lot of cases, folks are working with recruiting agencies or recruiters who are professional recruiters, but they're not necessarily well-versed in the language of marketing or experience there.
Yep, and Matt alluded to this, but as we think about use cases for our full-time recruiting offering, there's a couple different ways that we can plug in and support. So we do have a full service option where we can really partner with that client from start to finish throughout every stage of the candidate pipeline and help them get the right candidates in, help them create the right content and the right outreach to engage maybe candidates who are passive, but who would be a great fit for that role. And then all the way through interviews and negotiations to offer. So in this example, a CMO identifies that they need to make a really key strategic hire, and maybe it's somebody that they cannot afford to miss. It's too important for the business to get that hire right and to get the right expert in seat. So that's a really common use case for this kind of full service model where we're with you every step of the way throughout that pipeline. And then also, and this is, I think, a differentiator of our full-time recruiting offering, we, in the theme of flexibility, we also offer a flexible way to kind of plug in and supplement in-house recruiting teams at various stages of the pipeline where bandwidth might be low or results need to be optimized, and really function as an extension of that internal recruiting team. So Matt mentioned this, but recruiters aren't always specialized in marketing. They are probably not marketers themselves. So that's where we can really come into play. For example, there might be a challenge at the early stage of the pipeline, getting the right candidates to the table, figuring out how to attract them, how to translate the JD into compelling content and outreach, and just to get the right folks in the door. So we can plug in at that stage, and clients can book chunks of time where we supplement them or augment their efforts in that area. And then here's some testimonials. I won't read through these, but I think this is just a testament to kind of the range of clients that we support across the business. And a lot of these really, again, speak to our expertise and ability to function as a strategic partner.
Great. All right. It looks like we have a couple minutes for Q&A. So if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat for Lauren or Matt. And I did just want to remind everyone, so if you are interested in engaging with Right Side Up, or if you have any questions for any of the content that you saw on today's webinar, feel free to reach out to Lauren and Matt. Their emails are up on the screen. So let's go ahead and get started with the questions. So the first one I wanted to ask, I think I'll direct this to you, Lauren. So what does the process currently look like if someone wants to engage with Right Side Up?
Yeah, that's a great question. So typically it starts with a brief scoping call that may be with myself, Matt, a member of our project strategy team who kind of serves as the liaison between our clients' needs and our talent collective. And we work with you to understand what's the scope, what's the need. Sometimes people come to us and they have a very clear idea of exactly the kind of resource they're looking for. They may have a JD already, and that's great, but not required. Sometimes there is a challenge that you're facing or an opportunity, and you're not really sure how that translates into a resource that you might need. So we can work with you to flesh that out and come up with the right recommendation against that. And then from there, we digest that into a target profile, a recommendation. We use that and match that against our talent collective. We take on a lot of that heavy lift of interviewing candidates and folks, doing that hard work for you to figure out who we think would be the best person for the job. And then we make that recommendation typically within 5 to 7 business days. So it's a pretty quick turnaround. And if you agree and you think that they sound like a good person to meet, you have the opportunity to interview them yourself. Assuming it's a mutual fit, we can spin up an SOW pretty quickly. Each talent comes with an all-inclusive hourly rate, and typically a weekly cap on hours that they will work. And you only are billed for the actual hours logged by that talent resource. So again, easy to flex these resources up and down as needs evolve. And yeah, that's typically what it looks like.
Well, all right. I know we are almost nearing the top of the half hour, I should say. So I'll ask one more question, direct this to you, Matt. So how should someone go about thinking about channel diversification?
Oh, that's a good question. I think from the perspective of channel diversification, in a lot of cases, this is something that we come up against in conversations with clients from like a strategic perspective pretty often. And this is something that we're really well equipped to do as well. A lot of cases we'll have clients who come to us saying, "Hey, I've been doing advertising on Meta, SEM, maybe a couple other core channels, and I'm really seeing diminishing returns. What are some other areas where I might be able to explore to test a new channel, or maybe they have a channel in mind based on their industry or other areas, other folks who might have seen success, like for example, podcast or affiliate marketing. And typically what we'll do in these cases is we talk with clients, figure out exactly what they're looking for in terms of, performance or certain marketing goals or growth goals with these channels. And then we'll recommend areas where we think that we can be the best fit or where we think that they're going to have the most effective growth testing there. So in some cases that may be focusing on affiliate marketing. In other cases that might be focusing on some more owned channels or testing into something like Reddit or Pinterest. So it's really client specific and scope specific, but based on those conversations, we can really figure out if we want to recommend, hey, a consultant would be a really good fit for testing this, or in the case of maybe a more specialized channel that requires a little bit more of a playbook and framework, we might say, hey, you know what, let's engage with our offline marketing team to see if this could be a good fit for you. So short answer, it's different for everyone, but we're well equipped to have strategic conversations and figure out how to get you in front of the right testing framework and channels that are right for you.
Awesome. Thank you, Matt. All right, we are at the top of the hour again. So if you have any additional questions for us, feel free to throw them in the chat. We will also send a recording, like I mentioned earlier, with a link to the deck as well. So if you are interested in, following up with Matt or Lauren or Right Side Up as a whole, feel free to reach out to us. So with that, I want to thank Lauren and Matt for walking us through Right Side Up. And of course, thank you to each of you for attending. Have a great rest of the day, everyone. Take care.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.